Nicole from Anything Libraries. I am here today with a camera shy pup. That's Miss Daisy Clover. She's my cohort today. She's really just moral support. I am a writer, not a speaker. So I have my pups, I have some notes, my coffee, and Mr. Rogers, all here just to help me through this process. So I am going to talk about movies, which is kind of my thing. Hopefully it's yours as well. This little movie called Uncut Gems, which was a 2019 release, just dropped on Netflix, and many people are watching it, myself included, for the second time. I actually saw it in the theater as well. It is a wonderful movie that got no Oscar love, but deserved it. It's from the Safdie brothers, featuring an amazing performance by Adam Sandler. It is, I've heard it referred to as a 2-hour panic attack, which is pretty apt. It's very tense, very unique, and amazing. So if you have Netflix and you have not seen the movie, by all means, stop watching me, go watch Uncut Gems. But if you do not have Netflix, I am here to talk to you about Canopy, which is a streaming service that you can access free with your Anything library card, and you can stream movies. So Canopy features many A24 films. A24 distributes independent movies, including Uncut Gems. Unfortunately, that one is not on there just yet, but there are about 80, a little more than 80 A24 films that are showcased on Canopy. So I'm just going to talk about a few out of that many that stand out to me just to get you started. A24 films are, like I said, indie films, very outside the box, delving into the deeper topics, just really good stuff. So, and some stuff that's well known, but a lot of stuff that you probably missed if you're more inclined to see the bigger box office. These are things that might have gone under your radar, so I highly recommend them. First off, I did want to say that Good Time, which is an earlier Safdie brothers film, is on Canopy. Full disclosure, I have not seen Good Time. I have a Robert Pattinson version. It's a hurdle I'm trying to get past, and I will, as a true cinephile, I will get past that. I will watch Good Time, I promise. But I hear that it's similar vibe as Uncut Gems. So if you're looking for a similar type of thing, check out Good Time. My first suggestion would be The Farewell, which is also a movie from last year that did not receive any Oscar love, though it deserved it. Also featuring an amazing performance by Awkwafina, another more thought of comedian. She's really amazing, as is the whole cast. Lulu Wang wrote and directed it. It's basically an autobiographical film about her family going to visit her grandmother, who is ill, and they are visiting her under the ruse of a wedding, but really it's because she's sick, and they're there to sort of say goodbye to her, unbeknownst to her, because she does not know she is sick. They have not told her. So it's really fascinating, especially because it's based on something that's true. It makes you think. I felt like I was a little judgmental at first, and then by the end, it makes you think about cultural differences and just, getting outside your comfort zone a little bit. It's also very warm and just a really beautiful film. The next film that I would recommend is Lady Bird, which is another deeply personal film from a female filmmaker, Greta Gerwig. She is also an actress. She's amazing. I would check her out in any form. She wrote and directed Lady Bird. It was her directorial debut. Just this last year, she did a really meta, great adaptation of Little Women. But Lady Bird is a semi-autobiographical story about her being a teen in Sacramento, about to go to college, her relationship with her mother. Saoirse Ronan and Laurie Metcalf are both in it. Amazing performances there. I highly recommend that one. Next up, I want to talk about Ari Astor, who is a very exciting sort of new voice in the horror genre. So if you are a fan of horror, especially thought-provoking horror, very artistic, visually stunning, and dealing with themes of family, genetics, grief, this sort of underlying dread. If that's up your alley, it is up mine. Ari Astor is really amazing, and two of his films are both on Canopy, Hereditary and Midsummer. Hereditary I have talked about before. I'm trying to talk about today about films that I haven't blogged about, but that one I've talked about many times because it's one of my favorite films of the last decade. So Hereditary and Midsummer are the two that are on there. I personally prefer Hereditary. That might be a controversial statement. I'm not sure. Talk amongst yourselves. They're both well worth checking out, though. Yeah, good stuff. So the next one I would talk about is A Ghost Story, which is sort of a quiet film, very monosyllabic, sort of a mulling over of mortality and love, life. It has Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara. It's very different, but really touches on humanity and the reality of the emotions that we go through as humans. But so it's very truthful, but it's done in a sort of extraordinary way. Hard to explain without giving it away, but I really recommend it. And I think it was a very quiet film that kind of went under the radar. So A Ghost Story. The next one would be Locke, which is basically Tom Hardy in a car for an hour and a half, which to me that sells itself. But it is, it's one of those films that makes you wonder how they sustained it for 90 minutes. Just this sort of encapsulated thing, kind of in like a Castaway, Moon, Buried, Phone Booth, that kind of thing, like a one-man show. Very much a showcase for Tom Hardy, who is a great actor and really great in this. Very entertaining, really good. The next one would be Enemy, which is basically a really trippy allegory. I wouldn't take it literally. It's sort of like jumping down the rabbit hole and trying to put all the pieces together to figure out what is happening. But it is really, really mind-bending in a wonderful way. It has Jake Gyllenhaal in a dual performance, so 2 Gyllenhaals for the price of 1. That sells itself too. Anyway, really, 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 really thought-provoking and really great. Another one that might have gone under the radar for you is First Reformed, with Ethan Hawke, where he's sort of a tormented priest. It got a lot of critical attention, but I think it kind of went under the radar and deserves a lot more looks. So give that one a go. Moonlight, which won Best Picture a few years ago. You might remember it as the Screw Up, where Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty read the wrong film. But the right film won. Moonlight is this really sort of quiet coming-of-age tale, boy turning into a man, just sort of done in a a different way. Doesn't pander, doesn't condescend to its audience about, you know, the topics that it explores. It's just this really beautifully executed film that just tells this story of this boy. So it's very good. I recommend it. A couple more that I would recommend. Amy. It's a Amy Winehouse documentary. It's very truthful, but very compassionate about, you know, this very troubled, but insanely talented woman. And that really comes through. So I highly recommend that. But anyway, I recommend just checking out Canopy in general. But the A24 films, you're going to get something different. You're going to get something interesting. My moral support kind of bailed on me, but thanks for sticking with me. Stay safe out there. Be well.